Hey guys, welcome to episode 7
Seven.
of Real Raw and Random Podcast. I'm Susan. This is Taquito. He's a little bit tired right now, so he's going to be resting.
I'm Millie.
And I'm Jordan, and I feel you, Taco. Like,
Yeah,
too.
you guys have both had kind of a long day. You know what? I was up early, but I got some energy.
I was up earlier.
You were
Yeah.
up at like an ungodly hour.
Yeah, because I had to get up at 2 to be to work, or to get ready for work so I could leave the house at 3, be to work at 3:30, and then I didn't get off till like 10 something, which sucks.
And then you said you didn't really sleep, huh?
Because I was like, it's always a time where, because normally I don't work Saturday, so I'm used to like Friday nights being up and shit.
Yeah.
And then, so last night I'm like, okay, we're going to sleep. We're going to sleep by like 7:30.
I like how you say we. It's you and who else? You and your brain?
The people in my head.
Voices in your head.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm going to sleep at fucking 7:30. Then I'm sitting there and I started watching something. I think I was watching a movie. I can't remember. It was either a movie or a TV show, because I know I did both. I just can't remember what like started me getting more energy, because I was watching it. I was like, this is really good.
Oh.
And then I'm just sitting there and I'm like, fuck. And then I remember like 9 o'clock hitting. I'm like, I really have to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I started watching the opposite, whichever one I started with. Because I started with this TV show I really liked, The Rookie. And then the movie I watched was, it was this movie. It's hard to explain. I forgot the title of it, but it has David Allen Greer in it. He's like magical or something. I don't know.
Sounds like a Disney movie.
It kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it was pretty cool. But I fell asleep on it, so I have to watch it again. But yeah, next thing you know is 11 o'clock, and I'm like, damn.
And you had to be up at 2?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Disney movies, you look like Cinderella, Susan.
Aw, thank you.
Like light blue. Like
Oh, because that shade of blue.
Right.
And then
her
the hair.
Oh.
blonde.
Yes,
Usually I
she's
get
good.
Belle.
Mm.
That's who I get a lot,
Mhm.
is Belle.
You
But
give me
yeah.
Cinderella vibes today.
And
Cinderella.
you're going to
Cinderella.
Disneyland? Is it Disneyland or Disney World?
Disney World.
In
Did you?
Florida.
So Millie.
Oh my.
Millie. How many Disneys do you think there are?
Like in total?
Yeah.
Oh brother, I'm pretty sure there's a lot. I know
Yeah,
there's
to look
some.
this up. don't
I
know
know
the answer.
Tokyo. Like,
Ooh, I'll look it up for
Japan
you.
and all
Oh,
that.
dude, Tokyo.
I know
Disney
they have
would
their
be
own
insane.
Disney.
Mhm.
So I know like different places have their own Disney.
Hell yeah.
You didn't know there was a Disneyland in a world, huh?
No, I actually did not know that. Until Kevin told me. He was like, yeah, one's in California, one's in Florida. And I was like, I thought it was all in Florida. Am I tripping?
Is that the only difference between the two?
Yeah, that one's in two
Well,
different places.
the Disney World one has more like
Yeah, it's bigger.
parks.
Mhm.
It's bigger, but a lot of it is similar. Like when you really go into like the actual like Disney World, because then there's like Florida has Epcot, Animal Kingdom. Like there's different parks. You've got Universal, and so
Oh.
a lot of it is very similar to what is in California. Like a lot of the rides are the same. So I mean, the lines are just insane. We're gonna be doing the night one. So it's like when they close, and then
Ooh.
like we get to go. So we get to do like we don't have to wait like in crazy lines. So one of my best friends she's a Disney freak, and so she knows all the ins and outs, and so I'm excited.
That is exciting.
It'll be
exciting.
fun, and it's different because like we're going without kids, which I've been to Disneyland without a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sammy, we used to take him to Knott's Berry Farm or Disneyland every single year for his birthday, because we would fly out to California. That's where all of his dad's family is.
Mm-hmm.
And so like a lot of his birthdays were spent there, and Sammy hates amusement parks. So I don't know why we took him so many times,
Still?
honestly. No, he's gotten better about them. But as a kid, he was not a fan. Like we were walking around Disneyland with like 18 of his family members.
Mm-hmm.
And he like turned around at one point and he started crying. And I was like, why are you crying? He's like, I don't want to be here. And his tia was like, oh, it's okay, mijo. What do you want to do? And he goes, I want to go to Dave and Buster's. I'm like, we're in Disneyland. What
That's
do you mean
funny.
Dave and
Oh my
Buster's?
goodness.
So
And
what
so
is it
he was
about
just-
Disneyland? Is it like the ride? Was it the rides
He
or
just-
the
he-
sheer amount of people?
No, as a kid, he just was not a fan of rides. He did
Mm.
not like anything that was like, he's like the complete opposite of me. Like, I love roller
Sammy and I are
coasters
like
and-
fucking twins,
Very
dude.
similar.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, I hated going on roller coasters. I was
you?
so scared of them. And the first time that I went on a roller coaster and enjoyed it was when we went to, which one has the roller coasters in Vegas? The hotel
New York,
Circus.
New York?
Not that one.
That roller coaster is fun.
It looks fun as hell. I
The
really want to
Circus
go.
Circus one, they do
It has
have
like the
some too.
theme park in it.
That's the circus. That's Circus Circus.
Okay, yeah, we went
That
there.
hotel's dirty though.
Ugh, it's so
It's
gross. I've seen pictures of it. Yuck.
The one that if you like roller coasters and it's extreme is on the Stratosphere. Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that goes off the side of the
and then
building, right?
So I've done that one. That's intense. And then the one that shoots you straight up, and you're already at the Stratosphere. So like that one was fun. But yeah, New York, I do that every single time I go. I like it. It's fun. Like there's a part where it like takes you up. I have footage from the last time I went with Tyler where like Tyler and I get scared of things, but we still do it.
Mhm.
And so he's just like, we're going to die. And like, there's all these signs that are like, put your phone away, put your phone away. And we're going up and I'm recording. And he's like, you're going to get us kicked off. Put your phone. And you can hear him like losing his shit. And I was like, shut up. Stop being such a rule follower. And I'm like recording. Well, by the time we got down, one of my earrings had flown off. Like I was missing a whole friggin' earring.
Wait, I think I remember this. Did you send us a picture?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Like my whole earring was gone. And I was like, standing there all sad with my earring gone because they were like good gold. You guys know me. And
like those ones you have on, kind of.
They were hoops, big gold hoops, and they were like the real gold. So I was, if they were like the cheap, like 3 in a pack ones, I'd be fine. But they were like my good
real
solid ones. Yeah, and so I was like, damn it. I think I ended up buying a new pair before we left Vegas. But yeah, that was fun.
love
Do you like
Vegas.
roller coasters?
Yeah, I love roller coasters. You know the crazy part is I've never been to Disneyland. I've never been
Me
to
neither.
anything Disney related. So my
Dude, we gotta go.
Me
I know.
neither.
So my first Disney thing that I'll be going to is with Jalen tomorrow because she invited me to Disney on Ice.
I was just getting ready to say Disney on Ice,
which I've never been to either. Like I'm telling you guys, I've never been to anything Disney related.
Disney on Ice is cute.
So we're gonna go to Disney on Ice, then we're gonna eat after. I'm actually excited because I've never been.
It's cute. It's so it was a tradition. I didn't take them this year, but I usually take my nieces and my nephew. And so like the first time I took my nephew, he was 2 or 3 years old. And we're like walking in, and I used to take them to do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like I would take them to powwows and like Disney on Ice, just stuff that they wouldn't.
What's a powwow?
All the Native Americans like come and it's usually at the Denver Convention Center, and so like they're literally going around the circle. They're like, yeah, and they're doing their, I don't know what you call it. Like
they're like,
yeah, and then they have like all these vendors, and so like I was just like, that would be kind of cool to go take them to. I had never been to it. And so then we were in the car on the way back. I was taking them home, and I was like, what did you guys think? And they're like, we didn't like it. And because it was long. It was really, really long. It was beautiful and really, really cool. But it was long, even for me. And you guys know my attention span's not that great. And so like, I was like, okay, guys, I was like, when somebody says, how was it? If you don't like it, you don't say, I didn't like it. You say, it was a great experience, but I probably would not do it again. And so now when I ask them like, hey guys, do you guys want to go to a powwow? And they're like, yeah, it was a great experience, but we likely won't do it again. So it's so funny that like they do that. But the Disney on Ice was cute because Noah, the very first time, and my nieces and my nephew are realist. Isabel is more of like, she wants to believe. Zoe and Noah were like, when they took them to Disneyland for the first time, I think it was Cinderella that they saw. And my sister's like, Zoe, do you want to go say hi to Cinderella? And Zoe was like, that's a person underneath that. No, maybe later. Like she was just like, whatever. But the first time I took them to Disney on Ice, we walk in and it's like the ice skating rink that they have set up. And Noah walked in and he goes, are we going to have to ice skate? Because I'm not very good at it. And I was like, no. You're going to like it, though. It's a lot of fun. It's super cute. I didn't even see who the lineup is for this one. Typically, like, they do... it's always Mickey and Minnie. They'll always come out. But, like, it's impressive what they can do on those skates. I was like...
Imagine if your feet hurts after, like...
They're so used to it. They move on those skates, like, the way that you walk. Like, it's so... And so, have you ever been ice skating? It's not easy. I would do it, and I want to do it, but I'm still scared with my knee. Because, like, one hit or one, like, wrong...
Back to square one.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not doing that.
I've never been ice skating before.
How do you think you would do?
Terrible.
Really? Why?
Cause I just feel like I would be too nervous, and I feel like I'd be like slipping and shit.
I mean, so you kind of do, but then like once you kind of get the hang of it, like there's like some of those little like imbalance things, but like you're hanging onto the wall, and eventually you get the hang of it. You're just kind of going around. I mean, I grew up doing all that stuff. It's kind of weird, like as a little Mexican kid, that like my parents took us to do all that stuff. Like, who's like, let me take my whole family ice skating, and My dad, I remember, would just sit there, but my mom was like, "We're gonna go ice skating. We're gonna go to the zoo. We're gonna do this." I think that's kind of where like that part of my brain is like, I just want to do something.
Mm.
Just want to do something different. So I'm excited for you because I think you're gonna really enjoy it.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited.
It'll be fun. So,
Mhm.
okay, so we are gonna have a call in guest. This is Kevin Lommer. He's currently in Florida, and so
Mhm.
go ahead and, and start calling him, and I'll kind of
Mhm.
introduce him a little bit. So, Kevin, like a lot of people that are going to be on here, was one of my former students, and so he has gotten into MMA fighting, which is super cool. We watched his last one; it was live. He won, so like the excitement of that was
Mhm.
really really cool. But he has done really really well, and has continued to.
Oh, he answered.
Did he?
Mhm.
Hey Kevin.
Hold up. I can't see you guys. It's being weird.
It's okay.
It's
So
okay.
we've got you on the speaker, and so we're gonna show like footage obviously of like your fights and stuff. And so I was just kind of giving them like a quick introduction, and I don't know that I have really asked you like how you got started in MMA.
How I've gotten started. So, how I got started doing MMA was I started Brazilian Jiu Jitsu when I was 8 years old. And growing up, like in California and stuff, I grew up fighting a lot. And, I wanted to kind of get out of that like stuff. So I started doing Jiu Jitsu when I was young.
Wait, you mean fighting like for fun?
Yeah, I used to just fight on the street.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
you and I would have been best friends.
Literally.
So like I grew up fighting on the street, and my uncle wanted to put me in something that kind of helped me get away from that, and jiu-jitsu was one of them. So started doing jiu-jitsu when I was about 8 years old, and then I
Hmm.
started doing. I got more serious about it when I was about 14, freshman year actually. I was about 14, and I wanted to get serious about it, and so I started doing striking.
Wait, what's
had,
striking?
Striking is the stand-up portion of mixed martial arts, which is Muay Thai and kickboxing and boxing, which is where you're just punching and kicking people and elbowing people. And then I had a couple kickboxing fights, and then my coach was just like, "All right, you're ready for MMA, so let's do an MMA fight."
Which is just kind of like a natural progression, though, right? Because I mean, MMA encompasses all of that, right?
Yeah, that you have to be able to get good on the ground, which is like when you hit the bottom, you hit the ground, and you have to get good at like know how to control yourself, how to get submissions and like stuff like that. It takes time, takes a while.
So, what would you say is the hardest part about MMA?
Um, so one of them is definitely staying disciplined. Uh, when you're going through like a lot of like hard things, like me, one big thing for me was like the mental. It's all mostly mental to me because I feel like anybody can have like the body, like you can be the biggest ripped person in the world, like the best looking guy in the world, like best physical shape, but if you don't have a good mentality, you don't have a good mental, then it's nothing. You're like nothing to the sport. And I feel like you have to stay disciplined. You have to be able to wake up and go train on the days you don't want to. Like you got to be able to wake up and go train on the days that you feel nothing, like you feel sad, you feel broken. Like you got to get up and go train on those days that is hard. And I feel like that's the one thing every person that wants to fight has to do.
So, do you think that those days when you feel broken, when you feel sad, do you feel like that almost fuels your drive more on those? I know it tends to be harder because sometimes like the natural instinct is to want to just kind of like hide, right? And to like go away from the world, but does that ever fuel your fire and make you go a little bit harder?
It definitely does. It really truly does because like I don't know what it is for me, but like on those days where I'm like broken and like I feel like hurt or just feel like quote unquote depressed, um, I just think to myself like, oh, there's definitely a lot worse things happening to other people, and that like you just I use it as fuel and type of way, like to just realize what I want at the end of the day.
So,
Like, okay,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, sorry, Gamins, but
No,
like, I mostly just think to myself, like, at the end of the day, I'm going through all this to get to this goal, to like become a world champion and become financially comfortable in my life, and um and yeah, just realizing what you want at the end of the day.
so that's your end goal, obviously, is to be a world champ. Is so explain to us like the different levels. Like is it sectioned off by weights like other
So
like
yes,
how are you guys categorized?
so for me, I fight in the 155 and the 170 weight class, and then for me, since I'm still youth, I'm still classified as a teenager, I fight in the youth divisions. So basically, in the state of Florida, there every in MMA though, there's weight classes, right? You have the amateurs and you have the pros. The amateurs, even the pros, the weight classes are the same. So like for again me, I fight 155, 170, but there's a 125 pound weight class, 135, 145, 155, 170, 185, 205, and 235 and above. I think
Jeez.
it's the heavyweight limit. But so yeah, and then there's levels like how you asked in a way of skill. Like there's the amateurs and there is the pros. The pros is when you like you get the title as professional and you start making money off of fighting. And but for the amateurs is basically like when you're getting yourself ready to go to the pros, kind of.
Mm.
So how do you get your pro card then?
So I actually think all you have to do to get a professional license is to go to the athletic commission and be like, hey, I want to fight professionally.
Really?
But yeah, but like if you're under like a good gym like mine and stuff like that, then you have to have an amateur record. You have to have at least 5 or 6 amateur fights until they believe you can go pro. Um, but like for a good example though, of someone that does skip the amateur level is my teammate Michael Faulkner fought somebody named Alexi Bell. Alexi Bell was a silver medalist in the 2012 Olympics in wrestling, and so he has a wrestling background. Um, so his coaches felt like he was ready to go fight someone that was 5'1" as an amateur, making their pro debut. Does never went to the Olympics or nothing, but that guy went to the Olympics. Yeah, he has that level that barely anybody in the world has. But um, I think personally it took a little too early because the dude got choked out. He
Oof.
almost won the wrestling Olympian. Almost got he did get choked out. So. But yeah, anybody can just walk up there and say that. But if you're under a good gym, then they're gonna make you weigh at least 6 or 7
They're
inches.
gonna hold you back a little bit until
Yeah.
you're ready.
Kevin, so we know you had some fights. We know you just had a fight that actually happened not too
We
long
were
ago.
so pumped watching that, by
Yes,
the
we
way.
were hyping you up.
We
in the
were so
chat.
excited. That was like so cool. Like
It really
we
was
definitely
cool.
like were sad we were not there.
Mm-hmm.
So what fight number was that? How do you
So
have under your belt?
I've had 4 total fights. So I've had 2 kickboxing fights and 2 MMA fights. My 2 youth kickboxing fights, 2-0 in youth kickboxing, and then 2-0 in MMA. So my first MMA fight, I won by 3rd round TKO. Kicked the dude in his liver and threw up
Oof.
everywhere. And
Ouch.
then my second fight, which was most recent, as you guys saw, I went to split decision.
Which was
Should
BS, by the way.
what did you say?
I called baloney on that one. That was BS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody said that it was.
I was like, split decision. That was a no-brainer. Like, really?
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody was saying that should have been unanimous, but it was whatever. Definitely a lot of things I could have done in that fight. Like in the second round, when I got the guy to his back and I was literally choking him out, I was too much in the mode where I was like, I just want to kill this guy, just choke, choke, choke. But like I could have, this is where like levels and experience goes into it. Like I dug the choke in. One of his arms were wrapped around my arm, and I didn't realize that. I wasn't thinking straight, and that's an experience. What I could have done was got my arm out, put it under his chin fully and choked him out, which I did that, but it was too late. But the second and third round, I thought I won pretty clearly. First round could have went up to either one of us, but yeah, split decision. But we're gonna move on to the next.
So
Next one is me.
I'm curious, what's going through your mind when you're choking someone out?
Honestly, it's really weird. Like, so before the fight, you're so worried that you're gonna get knocked out, choked out, or whatever in front of your entire family, your entire bloodline. But when you're in like the cage, like you like when you're choking this dude out, you're just waiting for him to fall asleep. You're choking him out, just wanting to kill him, like literally to murder him and just wait for him to fall. Yeah, but that goes through my head. Like when I was trying to get the choke, I was like, "Fuck this dude! I just want to choke him out." Like, but yeah, that I wanted
That's
to kill
actually
him.
crazy.
Well, it's almost like that mentality of like, I got to get them before they get me.
Literally, yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool. So talk to us about. So have you lost any of your fights?
No.
Okay.
No.
So then talk to us about what the wins feel like, because I mean that's like I said, we were screaming.
We were so high.
We were like losing
on that
it.
Instagram live,
So
man.
if we were that excited for you, like, what does it feel like on your end?
It's definitely like I don't know. See, it's just so like good. Like you don't know how to really explain it. Like it's a type of happiness that you never really felt in your life until you experienced that. Like you can have $1,000,000, you can have the best girlfriend and wife, whatever in the world, but like when you win a fight, you feel so accomplished because you know that you work so hard to go into the cage and win. You work so hard to outwork your opponent because you got to realize like your opponent, he could have been doing the same thing, he could have been doing more, he could have been doing less, whatever, but he was still working to try to go in that cage and kill you. But you came out that cage alive, victorious and successful. That you and you made everybody proud. Like the feeling of making those people proud and making yourself proud is an amazing like feeling because
I love that.
It's just an amazing feeling. Like I don't know how to explain it anymore. Like it's like a cloud 9 feeling. Like you don't feel that any other time. You don't feel that hanging out with friends. Nothing. Like it's a feeling that very few like will feel.
So do you think that that's something you'll be chasing like forever?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which probably puts that drive in there a lot deeper. So I'm curious. I know you said some days you are mentally a little bit weaker, and I talk to the girls. Millie and Jalen obviously go to the gym with me. We talk about how you're a lot of the times your mind gives up before your body does. So what do you do to stay mentally strong and to like work yourself to the place where you can't quit and you have to keep working harder?
I just honestly, for me, I think about just my past really. Like I think about all the stuff I went through as a kid and all the stuff that has happened to me, but I did good enough to make it to the point where I'm at now. So like whenever I think about like, oh, I don't want to get up and go to the gym tonight or today, like I don't feel good, like I just feel depressed. I just think about like my past, and like, I just think about what, like stop feeling sorry for yourself, get up, go work, and um I just think about the end goal again, honestly, of winning and having that feeling of winning a fight.
Nice. So what's your number one hype song that you listen to get you going?
Damn, that's a hard one.
I asked you this that one day. Remember, and I was like, "What song are you listening to today?" Me and Millie were jamming out to that one, actually.
Yeah, we were.
It's so hard. I listen to so many, like, I don't know. Like,
Is there like a specific artist that is like your go-to, or is there a specific genre?
It's definitely Tupac.
Ah, you gotta have Tupac. Yeah, Tupac's a good one.
Because he just like his songs are just, they're so hard, like not even hard in the fact of, oh, this sounds good, just like the meaning behind his songs.
They're real.
Yeah. But I'll say one that like I think every fighter in the world can agree to is Hail Mary, because that song is just
That is a good one.
Mm,
That is a
yeah.
good one. I'm gonna add that to our
mm.
gym playlist.
We do. So when you have these fights, what is your walkout song? Do you have like a go-to walkout song?
I don't have a go-to walkout song, but I do have a go-to like genre. Like
Mm.
my first kickboxing fight, I walked out to like most of my walking songs have been a Tupac, except for my most recent one. I mostly stay in the old rap, but like kind of songs that relate to like going to war.
Mm.
Like it was called Trading War Stories by it was by Tupac. Um, yeah,
Mm.
but my next walkout song is gonna be crazy.
Mm.
Nobody expected.
Interesting.
Nice. So when's your next fight?
May 18th.
Oh,
No,
where's that at?
In
it's
Florida.
In
same
Florida?
place here.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
for a championship title for an amateur title.
We're definitely gonna try to plan to get out there for that because I gotta
Yeah,
see this live. I love fights and love fight the I just
Mm-hmm.
the I obviously professional, semi pro, like whatever. I love it because
yeah,
I know how much work goes into it, and I think that when you get out there, you make it look flawless. You make it look like it's easy, which I
yeah.
know it's not. I know that
No,
there's
it's
so
definitely
much behind the scenes that like how many hours are you putting in the gym every day?
it's like realistically, like I can't even lie to you. For the last like what since been like what month since my fight, I've been training not as much as I'm supposed to. I train 6 days a week, 3 times a day, 2 times a day. But recently I've been going 4 or 5 times a day, 5 times a week to the gym, like 2 times a day, 1 time a day maybe. But like during fight camp, I like this is my everyday routine. Wake up at 4 mile run, 5 o'clock. I go to the gym. I go get a training session in 6:37. I go home, get ready for work, go to work, and go train. That's an everyday thing. Like you just train, 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 train. Especially when you get ready for a fight, because you want to perfect everything that you think needs perfection. But
Mm.
So you said you're in the 155 to 170 range, right? So what are you
yeah.
fighting at?
So for the championship fight, I'm fighting at 170.
Okay.
For my two kickboxing fights, I fought at 155. Right now, I'm fighting at 170 because there's literally nobody for me to fight at 155.
So
There's
probably gaining and maintaining that weight is not easy with as much as you're working out, right?
Mm.
oh god, no, it's actually a lot worse than you think. So fighters, they cut weight. So I this is a little secret. I walk around like 195 pounds,
Mm.
and then I cut to 170 for a fight.
Mm.
Wait, how tall are you? You're at 195?
I walk around like 190, 195. Right now, I'm a lot lighter. I'm like 180 right now. But my last fight camp, it was a struggle. I can't even lie. I was like 200 pounds, and I'm like 5'9", 5'10". Um, I was like 200 pounds, and I had to cut to 170. I had like a month and a half to do it.
Wow.
And yeah, so like the whole process behind the weight cut is where basically like that month and a half, you're slowly and just naturally losing that weight, right? You're not really dehydrated. You're not doing none of that. You're making sure you're staying hydrated, making sure you're getting the carbs you need. You're making sure you get like everything you need to fuel your body to train. But when it comes to fight week, you want to drink 2 gallons of water a day. You want to completely cut carbs out on Wednesday, and then you just completely dehydrate yourself Thursday night, and you sweat all that water weight out to the point where to the point where you just cut how much weight you need. Like I cut around 7 pounds every night before the weigh-ins, and
Wow.
then go weigh in,
Sheesh.
That is
rehydrate,
insane.
get back to your natural weight class. Not your natural weight, but like mostly around to your walk around weight. Like I walked to the cage 185. I weighed in at 170. The next day I was 185.
Mm-mm.
That big of a difference in one day? Well, because of the
Yeah.
water though, right?
Yeah, it's all water. You're refilling your body with,
Mm.
That's
or your body.
impressive.
That is
That's
really
actually
impressive.
really impressive because that's a lot to put your body through. But I mean, it's an art form, is what it is, and
Yeah,
it's a
you have to
discipline
do it
that
the
not
right
many
way.
have.
Yep, you have to do it the right way, or you're basically fucked. Like I've seen so many people cut weight wrong, and to the point where like they cut weight so wrong, where they've literally passed out in the sun. Like I saw it happen, or I've seen it happen, and then like you just while you're weight cutting, sitting in that sauna for an hour, 2 hours, cutting that weight, you can't give up. You got to keep pushing your mental game. You just got to keep pushing.
So, what would you advise anybody wanting to get to the position where you're at and the position to where eventually you're wanting to get to? What would be your number one piece of advice for anybody?
My number one piece of advice for anybody is to like really be dedicated to it. Don't treat it as like a, oh, I'm gonna have ass this. Like you have to really be dedicated to it, because if you're not dedicated to it, you're not gonna win. I've seen so many people like say, oh, I want to be a fighter. They train their ass off for one whole fight camp. They go out there, they lose, and then they never fight again. They never even walk into the gym again. Like you have to realize like you're going in there to fight somebody else who has been training to fight you, and you have to be dedicated to the point where if you lose, you go in the gym the next day and keep working. You have to be dedicated to it. You have to be disciplined, and you can't be a weak-minded person, honestly.
It takes a lot. Well, we are so
Mm-hmm.
ridiculously proud of you, and we can't wait for your next fight. We're gonna definitely try and get out there. Probably road trip because I think we've been talking about doing
That would
that.
be so fun.
And so
Road trip.
we'll talk to you about that. But like I think it's amazing what you're doing and the dedication and everything else that you're putting into it. Like I said, so proud of you, and I'm excited to keep seeing you grow in this sport and
Thank
to
you.
kill it and to make it because I know you're going to get there, and it's going to be amazing. Like I said, we're watching you from here and we're proud of everything that you're doing, and so keep it up, Kevin, because it's the sky's the limit. You're so young and starting this out so young. It's exciting to think about where you're going to get to. I guess one last question I have for you is there any fear that you have of injury?
Oh yeah, dude, it's so scary. It's so scary. Like I think it was like maybe a month ago, a fighter, it was something like he rolled on his neck, and he's completely paralyzed for life,
Hmm.
and that's a really scary thing. So that's like a big risk you bring into fighting. Like you have to be ready to basically like get injured.
Well, and that's
Injured
kind of
yourself.
what you were talking about is being with a good gym and a good coach to where
Yes,
they know to put you in the right fights at the right time because if you are
exactly.
inexperienced, that's how you end up getting injured, I'm sure, right?
Yes, exactly. That is so true.
Mm.
Yes.
Well,
That,
you're doing such a good job. Like I said, we're so proud of you, and I'm excited to show everyone what you're doing, and hopefully we can get out there and get some actual footage and be there live. But we will be the loudest. Well, no, you have a pretty loud crew, but we can get pretty loud.
Mm-hmm.
we,
Yeah.
we can get pretty loud, but yeah, we're so excited for you, Kevin. Like proud of you. Keep it up. We're here supporting you always.
Mm-hmm.
thank you guys. And I just want to say, remember, Gamez, when I think what was that freshman year in your classroom, I was saying I forgot. I just forgot exactly how we went or whatever I used to say. But I used to tell like I remember I used to talk to you guys, and you guys would be the only people, like literally the only people in that school. Like even when I was dating, like teachers would like all those other people, I would tell them like, oh, my goal is want to be a fighter. Told you guys the same thing. You guys were the only people that really sat there and was like, yeah, like you can do it.
Yeah, of course. And we still believe in you. Like I said,
Exactly.
Millie and I were losing our minds watching the fight. We were both each on our own phones and we are like
Literally,
screaming.
we
And
were just like
so
so
we
happy
will
for
always
you.
be here to support you and we believe in you and we know you're going to make it. And so obviously God first and you got people behind you and we will make it to one of your fights.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you that. But we appreciate you coming on because I think this is going to be so valuable for people to be able to see because it's not I think something that everyone understands. Like I said, you kind of go out there, it's flawless. It looks easy. And when you make it look easy, it's because I know that you've put in so much work behind the scenes. And so don't ever forget that. Know that, we know that, and we know how much work you're putting into it, and we're proud of you, and we believe in you, and you're gonna make it. We know that. So, um,
Thanks for coming on, Kevy Kev.
Thank you, Millie. Thank you, Gammas. Thank you, Jalen. And then thank you, Jordan.
yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
So yeah, I might ask you for a little bit more footage, but yeah, we're definitely we're proud of you. It's impressive, and we love you, and we're here for you always.
Bye, Kevin. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, and we're back.
All right. So thank you again, Kevin, for jumping on with us. We know
Yes.
his schedule is super busy, and he's all the way in Florida, so we've got a couple of hours that we're behind him. So you're amazing. Like I said, it's really cool to listen to that side of it, because we get the gym side of it, but I mean, to then have to know
The
that
training.
right,
Mhm.
that you're actually doing this for a purpose, and that there's something that is, going on behind that, I think is absolutely amazing. And so I'm excited to see him
All that
continue
hard
to
work and dedication.
grow. Yeah, for sure. So
Obviously, this was my first time like ever even hearing his voice. I don't know
Kevin.
him. But looking at his Instagram, his shit is sick.
he's impressive. He
Yeah,
is
oh,
impressive. So
man.
yeah, you guys check him out, because his fights, they'll record them live, and
Fighting sports in general, like MMA, boxing, jiu-jitsu, shit like that, is so interesting to watch.
it is. It
It's
is because,
crazy.
like I said, like they make it look like it's easy, and then you're like, but there's so much skill to it, and there's so much training that goes behind that, and so
There's so much strength they have to
Mhm.
use. Like, it's
And
so
the risk
tiring.
is crazy too. Like, I'm glad you asked him about his thoughts on injury,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of fighters that walk around on the opposite side. They have long-term damage from fighting for so long.
Right.
Because how long did he say he's been doing it for? Since he was in.
since freshman year, and he just graduated high school here in December, and so for 4 years at this
That's
point.
a
But then
while.
prior to that, he was already doing other stuff. He said
Oh, jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu, and so he had done it for a couple of years. But I mean, it's even still just kind of. And then not only that, but he was here, and then he went to Florida, and then he was in Alaska, and he went back to Florida. So he's kind of been at different places, and the fact that he's been able to maintain that level of like motivation and dedication and skill to be able to continue to fight is super, super impressive. So very, very proud of him. I think he's just done an amazing job. So yeah, I mean, we definitely need to get out there and go watch him fight live,
That'll
because
be
I think
sick.
that
That'd
would
be
be
really
sick.
sick.
That would be really cool to
Do y'all have a favorite sport? I'm just curious.
basketball.
Basketball?
100%. Yeah.
Do you have one, Millie?
Absolutely not.
I feel
I
like
don't
mine.
watch, but like the Super Bowl, it was chill. Like, I like the hype around it and like understanding the game.
Did we watch it?
Y'all went to a whole party.
Yeah, but I don't know that I watched it. I
Oh, like watch the game
like
itself.
I spent a lot of time like talking
Towards the
to
end,
people.
I'm sorry. Towards the end, I was definitely tuned in. I was definitely watching it because it was like the last quarter or whatever. I wanted to see who won. I feel like that's when I really tune in onto Super Bowls, when it's the last quarter. Just
That
to see who can
specific
win.
game that's the time to tune in. It was going one way the whole
I
time.
don't remember the end. I
Yeah, I think you were
Oh my
busy doing
God.
something.
I remember the halftime show, and I was like, yeah.
Go watch
And-
her.
Okay, so me and Millie were like hype. We're like, yeah. And we're like singing every single song.
Literally.
And then we turn around, and everyone was like,
Yeah, there's these little girls
Just
in the
staring.
corner.
because they were just kind of like,
they were like confused. I was
they didn't know.
like, have y'all
any
you like
of
not
the
listened to
songs.
Usher?
And
That's
they're
crazy.
They're like her age, and so like me and her were and they just kept looking at us like, what is wrong with them? I'm like, nothing. This is how we live our life. But yeah, that was after that. I was just kind of like,
Usher's the shit, man.
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm excited to go to his concert.
That's gonna be insane.
First concert too.
That'll be cool.
I don't get out much.
That'll be cool. I mean, but
Mhm.
hey, you know what? You're still young. You got time to do all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
I just remember when I was 16, my mom bought me Drake tickets, and then we couldn't go because he canceled this shit. He continues
Drake
to
is a
cancel tours
counselor.
in Denver. Like
Yeah.
he never comes to Denver. I don't know what it is.
He's a canceller.
It drives me
I'd
freaking
probably avoid
crazy.
Denver too if I was
You know, I
him.
want to see in
Low
concert
key.
J. Cole.
J. Cole is sick
I
in
love J.
concert.
Cole's
J.
music.
Cole, oh,
He is
man.
insane in concert.
Mhm.
He's good. I mean, there are some artists that I'm like, meh. J. Cole's pretty cool.
J. Cole,
He's good.
Kendrick. Have you heard about the thing going on with them right now?
Uh-uh.
Like Kendrick was on Future's album, Future and Metro Boomin's album, which both of them apparently don't fuck with Drake right now. And Kendrick already doesn't fuck with Drake. So he's like dissing Drake and J. Cole on the album, on the song that he's on with Future, because Drake and J. Cole did that whole thing where they're pretty much going back and forth on the song, like who's the GOAT. And then, because it's always when you talk about rap, you talk about the big three, and it's the three of them. Kendrick fucking hates that because he's like, there is no big three, it's just me. And now they're all beefing right now. Future and Drake have been beefing over a woman.
They're talking about the big three currently or of all time?
Currently.
Okay, because I was gonna say they're a little full of themselves if they're talking about it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely currently. I don't think any of them have ever said, like, seriously, of all time. They throw that term goat around.
Some heat if they said that.
Yeah, they throw that term goat around, but they don't actually, like, you'll never, at least to my knowledge, you'll never see them in an interview like, I am the greatest rapper of all time.
Well, because you know that, like, lyrically, and they have had like actual professors analyze the lyrics and the rap of like certain artists, and they have said Tupac, Eminem, they're like they were at the top of the game because the way that they were able to lyrically like go in and the rhyme sequence and the wording and the way that they were able to like flow
Eminem especially low key,
and it made sense. It wasn't this like gibberish that you're like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, you're literally listening to Tupac and you're like, damn, like this makes sense. Or
Kendrick's the same way, low key. Like
Kendrick is. J. Cole's pretty good too, though.
You go down all of them really. Drake is kind of like, I love Drake too. Like, I'm the biggest Drake fan, but I'm also objective in my opinion of the fact that he's kind of at the bottom of the three of them.
At the bottom.
Because if you listen to some of Kendrick's shit, you
Kendrick's
can listen to
hard.
it 10 times in a row and find something different in the same.
Kendrick's stuff goes hard.
Oh my god!
I think Kendrick is a lot closer to what we were used to with Tupac, and I was never the biggest Biggie fan, but I know people always like pit them against each other, the West Coast, East Coast kind of a thing. But like Biggie was not my cup of tea. I was a Tupac fan, loved Eminem. Because again, like Eminem did stuff that was so outside the box, but like I said, when you just
continues to,
and when you just analyze it on a lyrical standpoint, you're like, damn, like that is crazy. Because I saw the breakdown of it and I was like, shit.
Yeah, it's deep.
I mean, I agree with that. I think they're amazing. Drake is my least favorite out of all of the ones we just mentioned, to be honest. He's not one that is a go-to for me.
Drake just has some catchy shit. That's really it. He's not one that I'm going to looking for like bars, like deep analytical bars. I just like his songs. He makes really good songs.
For deep analytical bars, I go to J. Cole.
J. Cole's good.
Music is deep.
J. Cole and Kendrick both have like two of my fucking favorite albums, because Damn is one of my favorite albums. And not Kendrick. J. Cole has two, because I like Forest Hills Drive. And then, damn, I forgot what the other one is. It's him on the gray cover.
Oh.
Gray, it's like gray and black. It's when he starts growing his dreads out. I'll probably find it if I look on my phone. But that album, there's certain, like, for me, my scale with music is if you can listen to something and remember either the first time you heard it or the feeling that strongest feeling that it elicits.
What gets me though about Drake is that he's not as
For Your
humble.
Eyes Only, by the way.
He's not as humble as J. Cole or even Kendrick.
Not at all.
He's full of himself, and
there's nothing about Drake that's humble.
I have a hard time with, like, I feel like Tupac used to a lot of the times be like, I'm the best, and he was. You know what I mean? He was. He knew what he had was different. His look, his demeanor, the way he spoke, the way that he interacted with people, he was real. He was so raw. J. Cole's like that too. And so when I listen to Drake, and I'm very big on, like, if you don't draw me in with your personality and you're not genuine, I can't fuck with you. Drake is that for me. There's some Drake stuff that I'm like, all right, like, this is cool, but him as a person, he drives me. I'm kind of like, eh.
One thing I'll say about Drake is he has some really good gym songs. Besides that, I feel like when I first started becoming like the biggest Drake fan, like when he was my my number one artist in my arsenal as far as music is concerned. I didn't know as much about him then as I do now. Now that I know more about him and like some of the stories you hear about him behind the scenes being grimy with the artists under his under his
Yeah.
OVO label and other artists that he's in competition with, it's like,
Well, and
yikes.
I think that when this year started, 2024 started, I made a statement, and I'm sure I told the girls this. I've told several people this. I was like, this is going to be the year of revelations. And for whatever reason, I was like, I just felt that. And I don't know what drove me to say that, but I was like, people and their true nature is going to be uncovered this year. If you've been a good person and you've sowed good seeds, then that's going to come out. If you've been a shitbag, that's going to come
I
out.
think
And
that's why you
what's
thought
like
that
the
about this year, because you had somebody be uncovered as a
well,
shitbag.
no, not even that. I just literally went into the year and I just felt that so heavily. And then like the first thing that comes out is a Katt Williams interview. And I mean, the stuff he said in that interview, do you know who Katt Williams is?
Mm-mm.
Who do you think he is? I'm just curious, just based off of his name.
Like Dr. Seuss. Like Cat in the Hat.
Oh
Wait.
my god.
Wait.
Cat in the Hat is crazy.
Yeah.
You think he's a children's?
Author.
Yeah, he actor, he a singer.
He's a comedian.
He acts too.
He's an actor, but he came out with God, what's his name? Who did the interview with him?
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp. Which if you guys have not watched the Shannon Sharp and the Ocho Cinco interviews, that
shit is so good.
Podcasts are fucking hilarious. Like
Mhm.
they did a whole. Sammy and I were watching the spelling bee because Ocho Cinco's like, I was the champion spelling bee guy in 3rd grade. That man cannot. But he was giving him some hard words. That is funny as hell. But so Katt Williams, he's a comedian. He's an actor. He was in
He was in one of
Friday,
he was in the
when
last Friday movie.
Friday, right? The one that wasn't as good. The one where they were like in the
Christmas
strip
one.
mall. I didn't like that one.
I only like that one for Christmas.
Yeah,
That's it.
I don't even like it for Christmas. I just was not a fan of it.
The,
I was like,
the first two are.
Was he the one that was like, I'm a pimp, I'm a pimp? Okay.
So he was in that movie. He's been in this other movie that Ice Cube made First Sunday. I was just watching that
Oh, I
today, trying to
remember
fall
that.
asleep this afternoon after I got off of work. What else has he been in? He's been in TV shows.
He's been in
He has
quite
a
few
lot of
things.
stand-up
So
specials.
He's really funny and he calls people out. Like he's been on oh geez, what's the one on MTV where they
On Wild
call
and
it
Out.
Wild and Out, and he went hard
So
on that
like
one.
the thing with him is he was on Wild and Out like back in like the early
Yeah.
2000s. Like he was a cast member. He helped make that show what it is. But even as that's going, he's still having a huge stand-up career. He's a black stand-up comedian.
He's funny.
And the thing with him is his whole thing in the industry is the fact that he's extremely honest. He's honest about other comedians in the industry. He's not scared to say names. He's honest about other celebrities in general. And his thing is he points out things that certain people have done to advance their career in a sense. Like there's a specific notion that if you're a black man in Hollywood, or even if you're just a man in Hollywood, a lot of the time they'll try to degrade you and embarrass you before you're able to
typecast
succeed.
you.
Exactly. So like there's a lot of, if you look up the history of it, there's a lot of black men that have been put in dresses in film roles, like Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart's done it before.
But
A lot of people have done it before, but let me finish. That's Katt Williams' whole thing, is he's pointing that out, and he believes so strongly that like I'm successful and I never had to do that. If you're doing that, you're a sellout. And he's naming names like Kevin Hart, Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, a bunch of other people. I think he talks about Tyler Perry too.
Oprah.
And Oprah, everybody. He's naming everyone's, like, a bunch of names in the industry.
He's airing everyone
Pretty much, exactly. That's
and
why
he
the
did
video
that to start the year. Like
exactly.
that's how the year started.
That's why the interview went so viral. And Shannon Sharp, that's why he's started going so viral too, is because
Shannon's funny though.
he's already been hitting the
He's
pavement with
funny.
his podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you watch sports, you know him from First Take on ESPN, and then he has his podcast, Ocho Cinco, too. So Shannon Sharp just has a bunch of things working for him right now because he continues to have comedians on, like responding to what Katt said in a sense, or people keep bringing it up. He was like, yeah, so I want to have a Katt moment, guys. They're all hoping to have the same thing,
Did you see
but no one can pull the
clip
numbers he
where
did.
Shannon was he's getting an autograph from oh my god, my brain is not working right now. So he's obviously a huge LeBron fan,
Mm-hmm.
and he was getting an autograph from why can't I think of his name right now? It'll come to me. Um Anyway, I'll think about it. It was just in my head. But he was just like, you could see in the video where he's just kind of like trying to hide. This is such a big name too. It's gonna drive me crazy. But it was funny as hell because he's supposed to be like this huge LeBron fan, and he's like standing there getting the autograph. Like, give me some big names in basketball. I don't know why that just flew out my head.
It can't be, if it was recent, it can't be like Kobe or anything.
It was recent, and it's he's with the. It'll come
Steph Curry?
Steph Curry. Thank you. Why did his name fly out my head?
Sheesh.
I
Man, you were
know.
not going to let that shit go either.
No, because I was like thinking about that. I'm like, what the hell? But like, he's getting Steph Curry's interview or his autograph, and you could see him just kind of like backing
And LeBron
off.
is one of those guys, like when he's in the zone, he's like, you're on Steph Curry's side? All right, it's fuck you for the rest of the game.
I love LeBron.
There's you know Lil Rel, the comedian.
Yeah.
He was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and he tells a story of the fact that when he was doing Space Jam with him, he had said something like they were, or maybe he had a game at the same time, and he was like, they were playing the Bulls, and Lil Rel's from Chicago, so he's dripped out in Bulls gear. He's screaming at LeBron and shit, like, hey. And then LeBron just looked at him and fucking ignored him. He was just focused in. He seen him in all that bullshit. He's like, it's fuck you for the rest of the game.
You know, I think what I love about LeBron, though, is he is who he is. He doesn't apologize for who he is. But he also has kept himself out of the bullshit.
Oh,
you know what I mean? He's done, like, I love some, and I will be very honest. I was not the biggest LeBron fan to begin with because I didn't.
He was with the Cavaliers?
When he first started, when he announced he was going to the Heat, and he like dragged it out and was like, I'll announce it tomorrow at this time. And I was like, just fucking announce it. Like, just say it. No one else has done this. Like, just do it. Like, get it over with. I was so annoyed by that because I was like, he's so self-important. He just wants to drag it out and drag out his 15 minutes and whatever. And then with the Heat, I was not the biggest fan of his. And then as he grew and I started to know the things he was doing behind the scenes, like the schools and the charities, and the fact that he's not out cheating on his wife and like getting caught up in, you know, Michael Jordan, love him, will always love him, but he was, you know, in gambling and doing all this dirty shit behind the scenes, where I was like, I had to find a way to separate my love of him as an athlete versus my love of, or like who he is as a person, where I'm like, God says we can't judge, right? We're not supposed to judge. But damn, like some of the stuff he did, I was like, it's kind of hard to look at you the same
like,
way.
Come on.
Right? Like, be better. And so a lot of the basketball players that I took to, like Paul Gasol, love him because I loved how he was as a player, like on the court. But the fact that he has been there for like Vanessa Bryant and like the girls after Kobe died, because like that was one of his best friends. He has shown more than anybody else that he was there for Kobe. Like he's there for their birthdays. He's there for like holidays. Like he's there. I was like, I have so much love for that man because like he showed he's a genuine person. So yeah, I have a very soft spot for LeBron because that turned for me because at first I was like, I don't like him. I'm not a big fan of his.
I love LeBron. I love every time I've ever seen him in an interview. I look forward, even though I'm not the biggest fan of basketball, because that's what I was going to say when I was asking y'all what your favorite sport is. My favorite sports are between either football and boxing, because it's just the event, the spectacle that boxing is, and football is just more interesting to watch for me because I've played football before.
Yeah.
So it's just cool to see. But LeBron is so interesting to me because of who he is and what he's done. Like, people they're starting to shift the conversation where if you're comparing a basketball player to somebody, people of a certain age are comparing them to LeBron instead of Jordan.
You have to. It's the demographic at this point. Like Jordan is pretty far removed from the sport at this point. I mean, it's to the point where like really, like, I think the last thing I saw about Jordan, they were making fun of how he's dressed throughout the years, and they were like showing like his like full denim outfit that he had on, and really some of his outfits are a little
Jordan's
rough.
just a big meme right now.
Yeah,
Like how he dresses,
right. And
he
so they
cries.
they've been making fun of him because of that, and so like with LeBron, they're always picking at him about something because he's great, and obviously if you're at the top, people want to drag you down.
Mm-hmm.
I love his responses to it though, because like when they were like, "You're the oldest player in the NBA," did you see that video? And then he was like, "Oh, really?" And then he runs back and he dunks the ball, and he's just like,
Mm-hmm.
"That's all he had to say." It's like, call me old, call me whatever
He's
you want to call me,
still
but guess
killing the
what?
game.
I'm fucking amazing.
And
You
the
know what I mean?
obvious thing, or not the obvious, but the thing that if you, a lot of fans of basketball say is he's so great that he's gonna ride it out until his son is in the NBA. They'll probably play on the same team, and then he'll retire and give that
I
team.
think that's what he's waiting for. I think it's kind of crazy though to think like Bronny and like his health, the health things that he was
Mhm.
going through, like
Oh,
with his heart, and how they were concerned about that. So I wonder how that's going to play out, because
I'm
I mean
curious to
that's
see.
kind of a huge thing in any team. I think that obviously Bronny has like a leg up because of the fact of who his father is.
Exactly.
Because I think if he wasn't his son, I don't
He
know
wouldn't
that he
stick
would
out
have
as
the
much.
same.
He's not that great.
He wouldn't have the same
Or
opportunities.
at least not yet.
He wouldn't have the same opportunities. I mean, Michael Jordan's kids, same thing. You know, people were like, "Oh, this is Jordan. His kids are going to be just as great," and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like they didn't do it. They didn't make it.
Those
I
are
think
hard
his
footsteps to
son
follow.
ended up dating what's her
Larsa
name?
Pippen.
Larsa Pippen. And like that's been his biggest claim to fame. I'm like,
Ugh,
you didn't do
that
anything
shit
other
pisses
than
me off.
date somebody who, you know, has
She's
had
so
more surgery
gross.
than anyone else.
Ugh.
But okay, but let's be fair. If it was reversed and it was an older man dating a younger girl,
That's not even
nobody
a
would
point
say
for me.
shit about
Yeah,
it.
that's true. But the point for me is just how grimy she is. Like the
Because
fact that
of the way she played Pippin
yeah, that
or Scotty, I guess.
yeah, that the fact that you're keeping his last name while dating the son of the person who he played basketball with for years.
Oh yeah, they were tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've definitely like there's no way you haven't been over at the same functions while
Oh,
this
they
kid is
have.
still
When
a
he was a
kid.
kid, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way that
Yeah.
hasn't happened.
See, that's a whole other level of weird.
Exactly.
Because like I tell everyone, I'm like, my kids, you can be 50 years old and I will always see you as my kid. This one still looks like she's 12. So it's harder to say, but like I will always see my kids as kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just where I'm at. Like it's different if it's like this is somebody I didn't really know. Okay, you're a little bit younger than me. That's a different story, but like kids when you see them growing up, that's just
It's
weird.
fucking weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
And I've told everyone that I'm like, my kids are always gonna be my kids,
Mhm.
regardless. Like that's how if I saw you as an 11-year-old, that is where my brain is.
Mhm.
Like I'm gonna be like, no, this was a child, and I
And
was a
you just
full
can't-
grown adult.
You just can't help but look at the person and be like, "Oh my god, you're doing so well. That's so cute."
Yeah,
like
well,
instead of
I mean-
ever it being a different emotion. That's
like
that's,
thinking
makes
about
perfect sense.
thinking about you guys, like, you know, getting married and having kids and careers and being grown adults. That part of it has been so much fun because I get to have like adult friendships, relationships with you guys.
Mhm.
That part has been fun. But when you have that like line where it's like, oh, I knew you when you were like 7 years old and I was married and had 3 kids already. Like,
Yeah, but now you
ooh.
look good. Let's date.
Like,
That shit's
what do you
weird.
think?
I'm actually so lost right now. I'm like,
Okay, so Larsa Pippen.
okay,
You know who Michael Jordan is?
yes,
Who is he?
a basketball player.
Who do you play for?
Who did he play for?
Y'all are asking some very hard questions right now.
The Chicago Bulls. He played for other teams too, but the Chicago Bulls was like
But-
his main team. Okay, so Larsa Pippen. Do you
Okay.
know who Scottie Pippen is?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so Scottie Pippen played on the Bulls with Michael Jordan. They
Okay.
were obviously super tight. They were good together. I mean, they were really good. Why are you laughing?
Okay, because you know what I respect about Millie? Like, I respect the fuck out of
She's
Millie.
honest.
Because she's so fucking honest.
Yeah, she's like, no,
she's
I
sitting
don't-
there like, what do you think, Millie? I don't know. I don't fucking have a clue what's going on.
But she also listens when you explain to her. Okay,
Yeah.
so Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan played together in the NBA.
Okay.
They were a huge powerhouse. They played for the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls had multiple championship rings, which is What's the championship ring?
Isn't that when they like win championship?
Yes, for like the entire league. Okay, so
Okay.
you have like it's broken into two different sections, and then they take the best, and then they take them and they play it. So they played together. So Larsa Pippen, who is very closely tied to the Kardashians, so like people
I
are like,
forgot about that
"Oh
part.
my god, she's perfect," and I'm like, "This chick has had more surgery than
Wait,
anybody else."
Was she with one of the basketball players?
So she was married to Scottie Pippen,
He's a basketball player.
yes. So
Okay.
Scottie and Michael Jordan were played together on the same team.
Okay.
She is now divorced Scottie Pippen, okay, and is dating Michael Jordan's son, who she has known since he was a child.
Yeah.
Look at her face. So what do you think about that?
That's just weird. That's diabolical. That's so disgusting.
I'm trying to
Because
find.
You saw this little boy.
Pass that to Millie so she can see who Larsa Pippen
You
is. We'll put a
saw
picture up
this?
in post.
Well, we got to put a picture up of Scottie too, and
I kind of want to make a family tree
and
of
Mi-
all
and
of
Michael
them, how they're
Jordan's
all
son,
interconnected.
because when you see her with Michael Jordan's son, and then you see poor Scottie, who looks like a dried up raisin at this point, like it's bad.
Mhm.
And then like the settlement that she got from the divorce, I'm like, bitch,
Oh,
you didn't
yeah.
deserve that. I'm
Wait,
No.
why does she
sorry.
kind of look like Wendy Williams?
Yikes.
Because of how much surgery
That is
she's
so
had. She's had a lot of
embarrassing.
surgery.
But like you said, like if you've seen a little kid grow up and like now you're with them, that is just so freaking weird. That makes my skin crawl. Cause like me personally, I would like you said in my own head, you're still a kid to me. You know, I saw you grow up. That's how we're kids too. We'll always be your kids.
Because they're always going to be my kids. Like,
Mhm.
that's always going to be a thing. And I've told everyone that. I'm like, which is why when I tell people, I'm like, oh, like, because I still have a hard time explaining sometimes, like,
Like how
how do you remember when
we
went,
got here.
we went to Cripple Creek, and then that lady, I said something, I was like, oh, he's my former student. She goes, oh, I thought you guys were like dating, and we're like, no, like he's one of my former kids. When we were in that shop trying on those fur coats, remember?
Oh,
was
she
like,
said that?
yeah.
Oh,
when I went to go
I don't think
pay-
I heard that.
I went to go pay, and she was just like, I thought you might have been wandering off doing something.
Probably.
And she goes, oh, I thought you guys were together. And I go, no, he's like one of my former students. She goes, oh, and then they kind of like take a step back.
That's
Like,
weird.
oh, that's kind of crazy. Like I was telling the girls, I don't correct people anymore when they're like your daughters. I'm like, yeah, they're my girls.
It's
They're my
just too
daughters.
much to explain.
Because then they do that double
It's just
take.
when we're out together, you have to explain it.
Yeah,
There-
because
you
it's
can't-
different.
We can't get away with being like, oh yeah, I'm her stepson.
So when we went to Cripple Creek,
I was
it last
adopted.
week?
Huh?
Was it last? It
Yeah,
was last week, right?
yeah.
Me, Sammy, and Jordan went to Cripple Creek, and like
That
we
shit
were,
was so fun.
it was fun, and so we were up there, and we are like checking out the new part or whatever, and then like we were okay. So the part we walked out of one of the casinos, and I go, "Hey guys, when's the last time you skipped?" And they're like, "What?" And I started skipping, and then I turn around, and Sammy and Jordan are skipping too. And then we walked into the new hotel, and I went to go talk to the front desk girl to ask her like what the rates were and like what like the whole
She was
story.
so nice, by
She
the
was
way.
super
Shouts
cool.
out to her.
Name was Anne. She was from Oregon, and she moved down here for her friend, and then now her boyfriend's here. Whatever. She's moving back because she doesn't like it here. She said, but she's also
Aw.
living in Cripple Creek. Like,
Poor
why?
thing.
Yeah. And so then Jordan goes, I was like, "Where's Sammy?" And he goes, "He went to the bathroom." And Jordan goes, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathrooms too." And he skips away. She goes,
Oh
"Did he-"
shit! I forgot about that.
She goes, "Did he just skip it?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "But I literally just said to them when we were outside, I was like, when's the last time you skipped?" I was like, and then they skipped out.
I have been.
And so we were laughing about that. Yeah, we'd had a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
And then we were talking, and then I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then I was like, I'm gonna skip away. And I skipped away. She's laughing her ass off. So then like I come back, and so while you guys were in the bathroom, I was like, he's my former student. And she goes, wait, who's the other guy? And I go, that's my son. She goes, that's your son? And I go, yeah. I go, if you look at his face, we look alike.
Yeah.
You could tell like that's my kid, or at least you know we're related. She goes, I didn't know what the situation was, and I was like, yeah. And she goes, yeah. She just kind of looked at me and was like, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not weird. Like, like this
I
is
didn't
just,
even think about that.
yeah. I was just like, okay, because I mean, truthfully, like, what teacher is hanging out with like their old
Mhm.
students, and then like too, like Sammy's 26 and still loves to hang out with me. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's another thing too. And then like I went and climbed in between that wall.
Oh yeah, there was like a little space because the part of the casinos that we were in were so fucking
They're
nice.
nice.
If you don't know what Cripple Creek is, there's a link about it to my channel in the description because I've talked about Cripple Creek before. But the hotel that we were in, it was so beautiful. It had, how would you describe the way that it
God.
was?
The aesthetic was just clean. It was
Like, fancy,
gray
like-
with marble and gold, and like everything's new. The fireplace is huge. I mean, we have pictures that we took that we were in there, and like the fireplace is like that see-through one, and so
It was so nice.
there's these two.
It's like it was a bunch of pillars in the wall, just breaking up the wall, so you could see like straight
You can see
into
through.
one of the rooms where they had a bunch of slot machines in. So she decides to fucking like stand in there
The picture
and like
that
start
I was
getting
That's
with.
the
Oh
one.
shit! Oh yeah.
That's the one where I was like, I think I can fit in there. And then Sammy and Jordan, of course, being grown-ups, they're like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. And Sammy's like, mother. And I was like,
Yeah,
"Let
and
me-"
then I was like, "What is that? What do we have to call the fire department?"
I was like, then that'll be a good story. And so like I climbed in there, and I would have stood up, but my knee, like I couldn't get my knee up because you know
Mhm.
how I can't like still can't lean on
Yeah.
it. So there's like the picture of me where I'm like this. And then like Jordan's on the other side of it, and like you could see
yeah, the light is
so he
flashing
looks
like
evil as
from
hell.
below, and I'm laughing my ass off because I'm like, "Oh my god!"
And then
this
we're,
bitch is gonna get
we're
stuck.
walking through, and like they're doing a whole rebuild on one of the casinos across the street, and there's all these signs, like they have plastic and tape and stuff, and there's all
Cripple
these
Creek
signs
is
that say
so.
it says "Do not touch,"
Mhm.
and so every single "Do not touch" sign, I was like, touch, 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 and Jordan goes, "This is that chaotic part of you." He goes, that,
Yeah,
like,
because that's the type of person she is. Like, you see a do not touch sign, it's like
It's like that one store that she told me she can't go in without
Crate and
wanting to
Barrel?
pull
yeah.
everything
Oh,
off the
I thought it was
shelves.
Pottery Barn.
Okay, so when I sent you guys the Lilo or the Stitch gif where he's like, "Arr," I was like, that's me. That's how I feel. I just want to knock everything down. Well, so then I know, because I've been up there enough times, I know that those doors walking out, like as soon as you get to a certain part, it's like censored, and so it opens, and I go, watch this, guys. And so I'm like walking through, and I go, open for the queen, and I open my arms, and the door opens, and they're like, Jordan goes, oh shit, what if that didn't open? And Sammy goes, that didn't open fast enough. And I'm like,
Speaking of the queen, there was a funny time in the gym that I want to bring up where your friend, where you had to put your energy drink, and your friend, you sent the picture to your friend.
to
and-
Anthony?
Yeah, and he was like, clean up for the queen, and then here I am. No, which makes it funny. Here I am cleaning it up for her, and this hoe takes a picture of me
Just on your hands and knees,
of
wiping
me
shit up.
cleaning this for her. She sent it to him.
He was
and
laughing so hard because like he was like, I was like, look what I was like, look, I go, it's my wake the fuck up juice because I hadn't been able to sleep. And he goes, how did you do that? And I was like, I set it on the edge. I was like, and then it didn't balance correctly and it fell. And he goes, I would have just left it. And then I go, I mean, I was like, you know, we're cleaning it up. And he goes, you should have just like moved on to another machine. And I go, well, I kind of did. And then I sent him the picture. Millie's on the floor cleaning it.
He was like,
And then
"Clean
I
up for
go,
the queen."
he goes, clean up for the queen. And then I go, I got my peasants cleaning it
She
up.
Oh.
sent him a picture of me on the ground cleaning it for her.
That shit's
Which
crazy.
I found it was so hilarious.
Because the whole queen thing, because I sent him that video of me like being like, open for the queen. And so that's why he's like, clean up for the queen. And I was like,
when she told me that, I was literally dead.
That
It was
shit.
so
yeah,
funny.
that shit was freaking hilarious. But yeah, no, that was cool. If anybody's been up to Cripple or hasn't been up to Cripple Creek recently, that new part, what's the name of Shamanix or Shamonix?
Shamanics, however you say it.
However
I
you
still
say
don't
it.
know how to say it.
It's
I know how
like
it's
they have
spelled.
like crystals everywhere,
It's
and they've got
beautiful.
like, yeah, it's really really cool. So like it's actually, I mean, it's impressive. I know they're trying to turn it. I don't know how much traffic they're gonna get up there because it's still a haul.
Yeah, they get a good amount of track on that video that I made about Cripple Creek. One of the comments is somebody from a different state, like, yeah, me and my husband are thinking about going to Cripple Creek, and she was asking a question about it, and I was like kind of surprised. I'm like, wow,
I mean, I guess
you wanna
take
come to
those- we
Colorado
kinda
on
take those
vacation?
things for granted though, right? Because
Mhm.
like, I mean, I've been up there so many times that it's just like whatever. Like, I know those roads like the back of my hand. Like, I
Mhm.
know how to like drive on those. I know where the turns are coming. Like, that's how much I've been up there. But yeah, I mean, you do take it for granted because there's
People
been a lot of
love
places like that.
People love Colorado, ironically. Like, I
Oh.
guess it's because I've been here my whole life, but
we take it for granted.
How
yeah.
old do you have to be to go in that casino?
21. There's some Indian casinos that I could take you guys to. I took Tyler to his first one on his graduation day
Wait, have
in
you guys,
Washington.
Wait, have you guys seen these TikToks? It just reminded me. I'll send you one so you can put it in here. where people were like, "But you guys are in the casino and you're like, before you guys play, they're
Oh,
asking
shit, I
they're
just
asking
saw
you
that
how much
one.
you're winning. They're like, how much do you think you're gonna win tonight? And they're like 10,000, and they stop before
And
it, and then the ticket
it's like
shows $5.
$5, yeah. That
It's
shit is
so funny.
crazy.
I'm gonna have to show you it. The
I
video
don't
is
think
so
I've
funny.
seen that.
That's how I
It's so
felt the whole
funny.
time until the very end. And I was sitting on one slot machine. I just started to get my money back. I was like, shit, cool.
The devil one? The
Yeah.
one that I said looked like Sammy?
Oh, yeah, you took a picture of it, huh?
Dude, I feel like every time I play that machine, I'm like, be nice to me. You look like my son. And I'll show you, it does look like Sammy. Like it. And then, okay, at one point, like Jordan and I went to go find Sammy, and Sammy was like, oh, I'm in the back playing poker or something like that. And so we found him. And then Sammy goes, so the lady came up to him and was like, do you want a drink? And Sammy couldn't hear her. And so he was like, excuse me? She goes, ¿Quieres algo de tomar? She assumed he only spoke Spanish.
That's the funniest shit ever. Because he assumed he didn't know that she was talking to him. Because he wasn't the only one sitting at the slot machine. So he's just like in the game. He's playing video poker. And yeah, she starts speaking Spanish to him. And then I'm sure he was just like, oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. Like being nice. But that shit, when he told me that, I was dying.
Funny. I know we were like,
Mhm.
what? So that happened to him. That the place that I went to go get the birria tacos. Oh my god, this place is so good.
Mhm.
And so like we get up to the front and the guy like looks at me because Sammy was like looking at other stuff and he goes, how can I help you? And I was like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm just kind of looking at the menu. And then Sammy walks up to go like order our food and he's like, hola hermano, ¿qué te puedo, qué quieres, qué te puedo servir? And then Sammy goes, I'll have a Arizona burrito. And I was like, the amount of people who assume he
Oh
speaks
my
Spanish is
goodness.
funny. It's so
I want to
funny.
learn Spanish so bad. I wanted before I like took a hiatus on making YouTube videos, I wanted to make a video like learning Spanish in a day.
We can teach you.
Oh, I
We
want to
need
learn
teach
Spanish.
Jalen too. Everyone be assuming she speaks Spanish.
Jalen, she picks it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I be talking to her. in
Yeah,
Spanish
like
at work
she picks the
sometimes.
words up probably faster than anybody I've ever tried to teach. Like when we say stuff to her, she picks it up like this. It's like the first try and
Literally-
she's got
She's
it.
my favorite little bean.
She is a
So
little bean. I
funny.
mean, she's brown enough that she should be able to get that out pretty fast. But she's good at it. Like I'm
Mhm.
actually impressed. Like today when she was like, "How do you say like right now?" And you said ahorita or ahora, and then I said inmediatamente. And she goes inmediatamente. Is that how you said? And I was like, "Damn, girl!" Like she was actually pretty good at it.
Yeah, she was like, "How do you say now?" And I was like, "Oh, ahorita." And then, bro, when the way she pronounces it is so funny. It's so cute too.
It's good.
My
Yeah,
granddad speaks Spanish, but he won't teach me.
Are you
Why not?
Mexican?
My granddad's Puerto Rican.
Oh,
So he speaks Spanish, like fluent Spanish. Like he'll still call back to his brother in New York, and then he'll just be speaking Spanish the whole
That's
time.
cool.
that is so nice.
I really wish we could go visit New York. I wish I could take him back to New York. He's not in the state where he could travel as easy, especially around New York.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed that we're not going to be able to do that like as I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
Cuz we might have gone to New York when I was a kid, but if we did, I don't
You
remember,
don't remember.
it. Cuz I remember they used to tell me stories about like a time that we went to my great grandma's on my granddad's side's house, and she had a dog, and I was so fucking scared of the dog. And but I don't remember it at all. But I think it's cool. I want to learn another language. I'm tempted to take the classes through where I work at because they'll pay for it.
Mm.
They'll pay for my
The best way to learn
certification,
is just through solid immersion. So
like conversational
well,
Spanish.
so put okay. Watch Univision. I actually had this conversation with. I was telling
I used to watch this one show, La Familia Peluche.
La Familia Peluche.
I love
Oh
that
my
show.
god, that's my family group chat name.
I used to sit there and just watch that show with subtitles on.
Wait, that's your family group chat.
Yeah, that's our group chat name. La
That's
Familia
kind of
Peluche.
hilarious.
That's funny. Your mom named it that.
I forgot who. Somebody in my family named it that.
That's
but-
That show
funny.
is fucking hilarious.
So okay, so the next time you watch that, put the subtitles on,
Mhm.
and as you're reading them, you'll start to pick up the words. That's like the best.
That's the
way
biggest
to
thing.
teach
It's just been a
yourself.
while because I was watching that when I was in high school trying to take Spanish class.
Mm.
So I'm like, I graduated, I passed Spanish class, but I don't remember that shit anymore. It's
Yeah.
been a
So
while.
I was telling, I was having a conversation with Anthony about like just about growing up like Mexican, right? And
Mhm.
so we got into a conversation about like getting sent to the corner. Did you guys ever get sent to the corner
No.
as kids? Did you?
I think so.
Like when you acted bad, like
I
it
got
was like
whooped. I
go
didn't
to
get
the
sent to
corner.
any
No, I got
corner.
whooped too. I also got
Me
whooped,
three.
but I got sent to the corner. And so like I was telling him a story about how every time like if my sister and I would get in a fight, it was go to the corner and we'd have to go stand and you guys know my ADHD. Like I
Oh.
cannot I cannot
She
like
goes to the
stay.
bathroom every 5 seconds.
Yeah, but
You're doing
we'll
that at
go-
Cripple Creek. I
but-
thought something was wrong with
no,
you.
but we'll talk about this. I'll explain this because remember I explained it to you guys the other day. So I'm telling Anthony the story about how like I would get sent to the corner and he was like, "Oh, I was a frequent flyer in the corner." I was like, "Me too." Until the day that so I found a way to kind of get out of it because I would be like, "Mom, I have to go pee," and my mom would be like, "Okay, go," because what is she gonna say? No. And Anthony's like, "That wouldn't have worked for me." And so I go to the bathroom and I'm opening the door and my sister's like in the corner. I'm like, "Hey, you're in the corner." And I didn't have to go. I just was like, "Hey, you're in the corner." The next time we get in trouble, my sister's like, I was like, "I gotta go pee, Mom," and my mom's like, "No." Because Sully said that you are literally like messing around the bathroom. No. And I was like, I have to go. So the fake tears start coming. I peed myself in the corner because I was like, I like forced myself to do it because I was like, oh, you're going to see like what you just made me do. She felt so bad. And so he goes,
Jesus.
that wouldn't have worked for me. He goes, that wouldn't have worked for me. And I go, no, typically it didn't work. I just caught her in a good moment. I go, about 20 minutes later, she threw a glass blender at my head. And then he goes, "Oh, concussion number 1." And I go, "No, because I ducked and she missed and then she slapped me." I was like, because Univision taught people, taught Mexicans.
Going
that
around
you
slapping each
slap.
other. Is okay.
Yeah, and he was laughing so hard about that. And I was like, so like my mom loved slapping. I mean, she beat the crap out of us too, like belts. The worst one for us was the fly swatters with the metal handle. She would dip them in water and like whip us with that. It hurt so bad. Like I used to have welts, like waffle print welts. So we were talking about that and he was laughing so hard. He goes, he's like, I'm like done. So I was telling you guys about what were we talking about?
We were talking about something. No, you just brought up randomly because I was like, because you're always going to the bathroom, even at the
Oh,
gym.
yeah, because I always go to the bathroom. And then I was like, because for whatever reason, like there's just been a lot more awareness of why I do things lately. Like there's been so many things like the crate and barrel thing. I didn't really genuinely think like this is something I should say out loud. It's just something I have to control. And so something came up about the bathroom. And then I go, you guys know why I get up and go to the bathroom a lot, right? And they're like, no. And I was like, because I can't sit still for that long. So it gives me a reason to like, and I don't go to the bathroom half the time. I just go in and like wash my hands or like just mess around. And then I like leave, but I genuinely don't have to go to the bathroom. I just need to move. I can't sit still. So like if I'm at a restaurant and I'm having dinner with somebody and it's like a 2-hour thing, I will get up and go to the bathroom like 10 times.
Yeah, unfortunately, I say unfortunately because it's so distracting, but I'm extremely observant. And when you kept going to the bathroom at Cripple Creek, I was like, is she okay? Something wrong?
Okay, but that's why I do that.
That makes sense.
Because it's just like I need to get up and move and I need to like get
I
this
feel that way
energy
when
out.
I'm in meetings. Like during the week, I have the kind of job that I have to have a lot of meetings during the week so we could plan out different things that are getting set up around the store and where I'm going to be that week and what my plan is, how I'm going to split up the workload. And I fucking hate sitting down in meetings for long periods of time. I get so like just start
like
twiddling my legs and then I'll have to stand up and like kind of just stand in the spot and get more comfortable instead of sitting down. And finally one day I explained it to my boss. I was like, low key, when we're in meetings like this, I'm listening to you. I promise I could probably recite everything you just said from A to Z, but I just can't. I feel so uncomfortable just sitting there. I don't know what it is. I feel like I used to feel that way when I was a kid, like being trapped in the car for long periods of time used to make me anxious and I'd be like, oh, please
See, at least
get me
you're
out of
listening,
here.
though. That's the good thing about you. I stopped listening.
See, yeah, I could do that. I could definitely listen. It's just I have to just get up. I have to move. I can't be sitting here for too long. I'm like, ugh, I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Then I'll start shifting around in my seat a lot and shit. Oh.
And I have such a hard time with that. Like I literally like when I used to have to be in meetings and stuff, I would be like counting down the time and I'd be like, so like a lot of the times I would get up and like go to the bathroom and mess around. Like there were times that we would be in like all day staff meetings, like when you guys would have like no school or whatever. And there were times where I'd be like, hey guys, let's play a game and see who can be gone the longest. And so there were a couple of times where like someone would come back and be like, I was gone for 10 minutes. And then like I think my best one, I went to Loaf and Jug, bought snacks, came back, and then showed back up to the table with snacks, and I was gone for like an hour and nobody like caught me.
That's crazy.
And they were like, what is wrong with you? So I mean, I know, like, I think I'm just so aware, like, internally of why I do the things that I do, but then I don't always think about the fact that others are watching, you know? So, like, I've become more aware of that lately because I'm always like, okay, I got to do this, or I got to go to the bathroom. Bathroom's an easy excuse because no one's going to question you on that.
Mhm.
Yo, you have to go again? They're just probably like, oh, she has a weak bladder, or like she probably ate some bad Mexican food. I mean, I don't know, like, what's going on with you?
This guy came into work today asking where the bathroom was, and I was a coworker of mine. I was explaining something, how to do something to her, and he comes back, and he was like, "Don't eat sushi," and then walks away. And I was like, we both looked at each other like, what the fuck did he just say? When you said that thing about Mexican food, that made me think about
Like,
that.
what?
Yeah, he was like, "Don't eat sushi at 3 a.m. or something stupid."
Oh.
I'm like,
Be like,
okay.
First of all, where the hell are you getting sushi at 3 a.m. from?
Yeah, because I'm looking at the time, mind you, like I
is this
just said
gas
at the
station
beginning of this
sushi?
podcast, I went to work at fucking 3:30 a.m. this morning. So that tells you when he came in the store, it was probably like 8 or some shit. Like, why are you having like, it was either from late last night, or you had sushi this morning.
Not good leftover. It's not good ever leftover.
Yeah, don't have the leftover sushi.
Ooh.
I'm like, ew, okay. Thanks for the info, but I'm good. It's not gonna happen.
I don't know. I think that's crazy. You haven't, the most you've had was, look at her eyes. The most she had was tuna poke, and I was proud of her. Have you ever had it?
I never had sushi in general.
So it's raw tuna. And yeah, everyone makes that face. And so, okay, so I was telling my sister about it, and I told her, I go, I'm so proud of Millie. Like because there's this Hawaiian place in Denver that I love to get their Samia, like obsessed with their poke, and they do have good food.
Mm-hmm.
They have their musubi is so freaking good, but Sammy and I, every chance we get to, we go there. And so like Millie and I went when she went up with me to one of my PT sessions, and I was like, let's go get poke. Cause like it's healthy, it's lighter, it's not like you're getting a burger. I mean, we went to the Shake Shack and yuck, that was gross.
What?
The Shake Shack was disgusting.
I think they're only famous for their shakes, not their food.
Yeah, their burgers and fries were disgusting.
I still haven't had a burger from there. I just had the chicken sandwich. The chicken sandwich was
so maybe that's because I thought it was expensive for no reason.
Oh yeah, because they do separates. They don't do meals.
No, and then they bring the bag out and it's all grease covered. I was like,
ew,
ugh.
really?
We didn't finish it. We were just kind of like, ew, but like, so we were like, we want something lighter. Obviously we're training, we're trying to stay healthier. And so I was like, Millie, if you're not going to eat it, like it's kind of an acquired taste. Like eventually, like you get used to it. They marinate it. Oh, it's so freaking good. And so I asked her to bring her out a sample, and she puts it in her mouth, and she was like, she's got the biggest steak face. Like you could tell when she's getting better at it, but she just kind of goes. And I go, she doesn't like it. She's going to need something else. And she didn't spit it out. She ate it. She was not like she gagged. And my sister goes, she's better than me. Because the first time I had it, she goes, I spit it out. My sister loves it now. Like I said, it's kind of an acquired thing. But it was good.
I can't do that. I don't have that skill at all.
Wait,
like,
didn't we have sushi when we went for Sammy's birthday? Wasn't there sushi there?
Yes. Oh my god.
So you did have sushi. We went to a Korean barbecue place. We all got to go to this place was so good, and they have the robot machines that come and they.
Oh
bring,
really?
Yes,
that's
so
cool.
Freaking cool. And so like, obviously it's the little hibachi. So you're like, well, it's not the hibachi. It's the I guess that's what it's called when you're grilling your own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I was just like Millie, because she's so picky. She did really well though. I mean, there were some things that she won't touch, like the octopus, which that's always kind of weird.
Octopus tastes so good, though.
If you cook it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
The way that Sammy and my brother-in-law are amazing cooks, but even they couldn't get it right. I was like, oh, it's all chewy. And I love, love, love octopus. I think it's so freaking good. But yeah, like it was, it was funny because she's just like, what's that? And what's that? And what's that? And what's that? But she had it. That place was pretty chill. It was cool.
I just can't hide the fact, like when I don't like something, I can't hide it. Like when my mom and I were on a cruise last December, and I had never had wine before. So she, because
Oh,
we went to
wine
a
tastes amazing.
steakhouse on the boat, and it had the package of like you could get a bottle of wine and everything, like a steak dinner
Mhm.
and lobster tails and shit. It was so delicious. But she got a bottle of wine, and she was like, "Yeah, you want to try it?" And I'm like, "I guess I never
Was
had
it
it
red?
before." It was white,
Oh, okay.
and I tasted it. I
It
was
was
like,
white wine.
yeah, I spit it back in the cup. I was like,
Was it clear or was it like actually white?
It's like
it was dark as
yellow.
hell in there. It was like, yeah,
It's
like a
like
yellow,
pea yellow. It's like when you don't
greenish.
have enough water.
Because she said, she was looking at the bottle. She was like, yeah, it's supposed to taste like kind of earthy. And I'm like, it tastes like
Earthy?
shit. Ugh.
Earthy wine.
And mind you, it's a steakhouse. Like, it's on the cruise ship, but it's a full, like, nice ass
on, yeah,
steakhouse. Like,
yeah.
it was one of the ones they had a dress code to get in there. And I was like, oh,
Jordan, I've never seen your mom before. You should show me a picture of her.
we look just alike, except she looks better. She's
Aw.
she's the
She's
pretty
not
one.
bald.
Hmm.
Oh
My God. But yeah, my mom, she's a very
so, have you
lovely
tried
lady.
red wine?
Mm-mm. I only had that wine that one time, and I didn't like it.
So, when Jalen and I went to the Thorn, I was like, we were both. We're always freaking hungry now. Like, I don't know if you're always hungry. I feel like
Mm-mm.
me and Jalen have been talking about the fact that we're just like starving constantly. And it's because we're in the gym, so our metabolisms are insane right now, and so like we're always hungry. And I was like, what should we get? And of course, they have nothing but junk food. It was like, so we got gummy bears, a bag of chips, and then I got a thing of wine, and it was like a double thing of wine. And Jalen goes, she goes, can I smell it? And I go, yeah. She goes, it smells like church because it was a red wine. But I was like, red wine's healthier for you. When I first had it years ago, I wasn't a fan of it. I can drink it now. Like, it's good. It has to have, I can't do the sweet red wines. I like the blends. So they have like the dry and then they have the sweet and they have the blends. So you have to get the right one. The
Mhm.
whites, I don't do as much because they tend to have like, a lot of them have, if yours didn't have enough sugar in it, that's probably why you didn't like it. Was it
Yeah.
bitter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
why.
exactly what it
It's
was.
but then here's the issue too is that they have is it sulfate? No, it's my brain is not
If
working
Sammy
today.
was here, he would know.
He would know. No, I want to say
He knows
sulfates,
it.
but they have something in them that gives people headaches. Like some people are kind of not allergic, but they have like a reaction to them. But the sugars in wine is what gets you.
Mhm.
And so the more sugar it has, the better it tastes. And the less sugar it has, the more like bitter. And like we went to Napa Valley and Sonoma 2 summers ago, and so we did all wine tours and like got to and like I will tell you guys, like going to those those things was fun,
Mhm.
but at some point I was like, I don't give a shit what barrel it came from. Just give me the samples. Like just give it to me. But I've learned how to like. I think it's something you grow to like.
Mm-hmm. Ugh.
You just have to.
Pass.
Did you find a picture of your mom to show Millie?
Oh, I'll show you later.
Yeah, I want to see your mom so bad. Like,
But yeah, it was wine's nasty.
You just have to try different ones. I mean, you're not a big drinker though. You said so.
You
Like
just leave this, okay?
you're not a big drinker, so I'm sure that doesn't help either.
I like the what do you call it? Like the tame stuff, like just stuff that tastes good.
Whiskey,
Uh,
Apple Crown,
a little bit.
water.
Whiskey in
Water.
general. And then like all the seltzers and shit that's not gonna give you any feeling. It just tastes good. I like those too. But besides that, certain shit I just can't.
I have not been a huge whiskey fan. Like I'm not a fan of it. And I went to Cork and Cask in December. It had some pretty good stuff. Like I had they were the group I was with was ordering like stupid drinks. So they had like a bottle of Macallan that was like a 50-year-old bottle.
Mm-hmm.
The tab was insane. And I like they were just like, "Oh yeah." And it was me and literally like 5 guys, and they were doing like tastings of like this whiskey called, I think it was like Angel Wings or whatever. And so they were like, oh, rounds of Macallan for everyone and rounds of this and rounds of that. And I remember tasting it and I was like, oh, and it's supposed to be like this amazing great aged shit. And I was like, I can't. I mean, there's certain things that I'm just like, I don't know if you develop a taste for it at some point, but I was like,
Ugh.
no me gusta, no me gusta.
No me gusta
No me
mucho.
gusta. It was a little bit hard. So how much time are we at?
We are at 53 minutes, so that would make it like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Pretty much the same as we've been ending at.
All right.
We can start wrapping up. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about? Any
I mean,
questions you want to ask?
I think we were. I mean, we can cover it at a different point if we wanted to. The one thing we were going to talk about.
Yeah, we can cover it in the next episode.
Yeah,
for sure.
We'll kind of jump into that, but oh god, she goes.
Please
we
don't play that thing. Yeah.
Because I was so distracted. Look at her.
Like at the end of the last one, I was editing it and I was like, "Oh my god, please stop."
Okay, for as much as I'm a fidgeter, this one, like, she does
Dude,
too.
Let's
I'm
talk about
such a
that real quick
fidgeter.
because there's podcasts that we do where it looks like my body is not moving. And then like there's certain things that y'all do that I'll notice, like when you kick your foot like that. Oh my fucking god.
Okay, so
Because you kick this table all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah, but so like
It's a small space. It's a small space.
No, but it is.
You can't help it. It's
also,
not a problem.
It's also one of those things that like
it's just so fucking distracting
like I said,
to me.
if I am not like moving around, and I think that's what my sister and I both do this, and it used to drive both of my brothers crazy. Like my brother would literally go like this, and I'd be like, first of all, I'm now gonna kick my leg even harder.
Exactly. That's the only reason that I don't say anything about it, because I know you'll continue to do it. You'll do it even harder, and then it'll just like really just distract the hell out of me.
It's one of those things that like I don't even think about, because like sometimes when I'm trying to fall asleep, my foot's going like this, and I'm just like, and then like all of a sudden it's just like, who pointed it out to me? I think it was my niece. I had them over for like a sleepover, and I was just like laying in bed, and Isabel, who's the youngest, she's 5, and she's the kid that will roll over and she'll like hold your hand, and then she like puts her arm around you. It's just so freaking cute. And so like one time I was just like laying there and I was trying to fall asleep and I was shaking my foot. She goes, yeah. And I was like, what, babe? And she goes, why are you shaking the whole bed? And I was like, I didn't even realize I was doing it.
You're just shaking like.
Yeah, and she's big on when like there's a sleepover, so like if I stay at my sister's, she expects for me to sleep in her bed, and her bed is so comfortable. Like she has a big girl bed now. She used to have a tiny little munchkin bed from IKEA that I also slept in, me and her. That actually was kind of comfortable too, but like she has a big bed, and so oh my gosh, she's like, this is my favorite stuffy, and you can sleep with this one. And then like when I go to go take a shower, when I come out, she has lotion for me. She has her little like unicorn robe, and she's like, you can put this on, it'll fit you, Thea, I promise it fits me. She's so hospitable, but it was funny because she was just like, Thea, like you need to stop. And then but she tries to keep me awake. And so the last time I was like falling asleep and I was shaking my leg. She goes, Thea, you're kind of making me sick. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'll try to stop.
Like motion sick.
Yeah, she's
That's
like, you're kind of
crazy.
making me sick. And then like she leans over and she goes, Thea, and I was like, what, baby? She goes, you're a masterpiece. And I was like, oh my god, this kid,
She's so funny.
she's so cute.
But yeah, the amount of times I move, guys, I just be like,
I'm surprised your pants have threads left because you like pull at them.
I do that too, though. That's the one thing is with my hands, I keep my hands occupied, but the rest of me just stays still. I just have to have something in my hand
to like keep you busy.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I have this in my hand, because then I'll just have it and I'll just keep it aside.
I never noticed that.
Oh yeah, I've had this.
Have you noticed that? Yeah.
Yeah, I've had this for a couple podcasts now. Like if my hand's off to the side, if you can't see my hand, I probably am just fidgeting with this.
Oh.
Just so I can sit still.
There's certain things I just don't pay attention to, I guess.
I ordered this from Temu, which I thought was Temu, but it's Temu. Apparently. The Super Bowl commercial taught me that.
How do you say, is it Shein or Shine?
Shein. I used to say Sheen just to piss my mom off, because she's like, it's Shein. You don't say Sheen. And I was like, oh, so you got some more stuff from Shein? It's pretty cool. But yeah.
It's not Sheen, it's Shein.
Mm-hmm.
Shein.
What's another one? I'm trying to think of something. Damn, I wanted to finish out with that. That would be funny.
There were several
like a word that you pronounce
wrong.
Yeah, that's easy.
Oh dang it! There's another one that I'm like, am I saying that? Which one was it?
I'm not gonna think of it. I'm at a loss. I know.
Shein has been one, because I heard somebody say shine and I was like, wait a second.
Shine sounds stupid to me. I could kind of see sheen. I just think it's funny to say.
The creators are probably laughing at all our dumbasses for saying shit wrong.
Oh, like damn, it's a car. They're not a Lamborghini. Damn, a Porsche. Because
Porsche.
yeah, that's how you're really supposed to say it apparently, but it's Porsche or
Porsche.
Porsche. I mean, yeah, but I always say Porsche. I'm like, oh, that's a nice Porsche, but
Tyler
apparently
has
it's
a
Porsche.
He calls it a Porsche.
He seems like the type that would call it a Porsche.
No, he calls it a Porsche. Before that, he had a Tesla. Like, it was a sick
I
one.
want a Tesla so bad.
I couldn't own one.
They look like eggs.
Oh man,
I couldn't. It was too much control by the company. I don't like the idea that in order for me to, if I break down because I run out of the power, they're the only ones who can come out and save me, or like the fact that they can lock you out of your car.
Really, I didn't know that.
Oh, they did that to Tyler. I mean, I know we're trying to wrap it up. Yeah, so there was something wrong with the Tesla that he had. So they gave him a loaner. And he had that, and it was like the holiday season, Christmas or whatever. He calls me and he's like, Kaka, I can't, because he calls me, we call each other Kaka, which is a whole other story. But he's like, Kaka, I can't believe this. I'm stuck at work. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I try to go get into the Tesla, the loaner. And he had already at this point had it for a while. They did some messed up shit to his Tesla. And he goes, I try to get in. He goes, it won't unlock. He goes, and I called Tesla. He's like, and because it's Christmas Eve, no one's at Tesla. They're not answering. And he's like, so I can't get through to anybody. He goes, and my Christmas gifts are in the back of the car. So I can't get in the car. So he had to get somebody to go pick him up, take him home. He didn't have the Christmas gifts for Christmas Day. And I'm like, fuck that. With as much money as those cars cost, and you're going to tell me that the company has control over if you get into your car or not? Nope. Never buying a Tesla.
That's insane. I did not know that.
To pay money for that shit. And like, there were times that he'd be driving and like his power would be going down and the whole inside of it turns red. And it starts like flashing red, or like sometimes it'll flash
like some distracting shit
to let you know like your shit's about to die. And then not to mention the fact that like, you know, they say you end up with range anxiety. We rented a Tesla.
Oh yeah.
When we were in Houston, and like they're fun. They're fast. They are very fast. I will give them that. I mean, obviously they're lighter because they don't have an actual engine in them. But you're constantly looking down at like, shit, how did I just go through like 20 miles and I only drove 5 miles? And it's because of how fast you're going. And then you're like, all right, where am I going to recharge? And then there's a difference between the slow drip and the fast drip.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want the fast one, you got to pay for it. If you do the slow one, you got to sit there and wait.
And you can't do the fast one too often because it'll fuck your battery up.
I mean, the batteries end up degrading just like they do on your cell phones and any other device that you have. But yeah, like fuck no, would never own a Tesla. I would never pay money for a Tesla.
That's the whole thing. That's one of those things that like Sammy, you could talk to Sammy for hours about, because like the battery specifically, to make the batteries is really terrible for the environment. Like the way
that they're having to dispose of them, and the fact that they're like, we don't know if we're going to have enough materials to continue to make them. And all of these vehicles are turning into EV vehicles, where they're turning a lot of the trucks into EVs, which the power behind it, I was talking to Jaden about this the other day, because Jaden's like, I want a Hellcat. And I was like, Hellcats are sick. And I go, have you looked at the EV ones? He goes, no, I want a real one. And I was like, the EV one is pretty sick. Stupid. Woo. Like, they're nice.
Yeah, and it's faster.
They are nice. But at the same time, like when I had my Camaro, I kept my Camaro for 7 years before it got totaled with that freak hailstorm that we had here. I would have kept it. I was not going to get rid of it. I would have kept that and bought another vehicle. But because it got totaled, I had no choice. With an EV, you won't have that option, because because once the battery is out,
the battery's out.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, the hybrid ones are there. It's a little bit different, but even then, like when a hybrid messes up, you're in a whole other ball game mechanically, because you're having to get somebody who understands the EV side of it, but then understand like that I don't know. They have built a very, very interesting like niche, where they kind of pigeonhole you, because they're like, you can only go to the dealer for this. And we all know dealers charge a freaking arm and a leg for everything. That's my whole issue with Tesla. I'm like, fuck Tesla. I'm not doing that, because that's too much damn control. For as much money as you pay for that, no thank you.
I just want a car that drives itself then.
That
shit's sick.
That shit.
Oh my God. I drive all the time because I have to drive so far for work, and seeing people just sitting there like,
I mean, you do have to put your hands on the steering wheel
every once in a while. But just the thought of being so comfortable, like just sitting there.
I wouldn't trust it.
Every once in a while. That shit's cool.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Couldn't do that. But
But yeah, we can wrap up.
yeah, so yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. I think it's been a good
This one's gonna be a long one.
good conversation
That's
though.
cool.
And we will definitely be back next week. Look out for our shorts and our reels. We're getting those posted. We are on every social media platform, so if you guys haven't checked out our TikTok, our Instagram, Facebook, we're on those and we're actively posting. And so go in. If you guys could do us a favor, I know sometimes we reshare and we post. If you can actually go into the video and like the video versus liking like our post or like because it does change things, we would appreciate that. If you can share a video, I know a lot of people really enjoyed the reels that we put out about Millie with her Paris comment, and then we got a lot of feedback on my teacher story. We'll keep putting those out because I know they're more easily digestible when they're shorter like that. If you guys can share those with people that you think would find it funny, we would appreciate that. But right now, we just really appreciate all the love and support that we've been getting. Everybody who's been supporting us, we love you guys so much, and so thank you. God bless you guys. And yeah, I think we're good. We're out.
Yes.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.